month is the 7th lunar month in the Chinese calendar, and it is the month of the hungry ghost, which is not very auspicious. And it's believed that in the 7th month, all the people who have died will come back, and there'll be a lot of them wandering around. So you got to be careful when you go out, especially in the evening and at night. Anyway, next month, which is the 8th lunar month, is the month where we have the Mooncake Festival. The Mooncake Festival is also known as the Mid-Autumn Festival, and it is the time where, when I was a kid, we used to do offerings and make offerings to the moon. Part of the offering would be mooncakes, and I used to have mooncakes at home, and we used to pray to the moon, but I seldom eat mooncakes. But as I grew up and I get to know more people and more different families, I noticed that mooncake is very popular. And now mooncakes is so popular that it's also given away as corporate gifts in Malaysia and also in other parts of Asia where it is celebrated, or the Chinese community. There are many types of mooncake. We have the ordinary ones, which has a thin pastry, and the inside is usually filled with a lotus paste or azuki beans paste, and it is usually baked, and sometimes you can get egg yolks inside. There's another one called Shanghai Mooncake, which to me is the simplest of all. I've tried making several other mooncakes before, and some of them are successful and some of them are a failure. But I find the easiest way to make mooncake for a novice like me is to make Shanghai Mooncake. So now today I'm going to do the cheats way of making an easy peasy Shanghai Mooncake. And I use short crust pastry. Hi, I'm Loretta Lee, Nyonyarecipe. Nyonyarecipe is a fine place of fabulous food, and I share with you my food journey. So please click like and the subscribe button so that you'll be informed of all the videos that I produce. And don't forget to share if you find my videos useful. So without much ado and without wasting a lot of time, let's get going and see how we make Shanghai Mooncake. This is my cheats method. Let's go. To make the Shanghai Mooncake, you will need 80 grams of unsalted butter, which is very cold and cut into small pieces, 250 grams of plain flour. We will add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 1, 2. We add in 25 grams of caster sugar and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then we'll sieve it. We also need an egg for the pastry. We need some lotus paste. I use 400 grams, and we also need to use some red bean paste or sweet red bean paste or azuki bean paste, and these are all short bought, and these are for the fillings. You also need some melon seeds or whatever seeds that you have for garnishing. You also need an egg yolk to use as egg wash. The first thing we need to do is to sieve the flour. We need to sieve the salt, sugar, baking powder and the flour together so it won't be lumpy, and we'll incorporate air in the same time. We're going to make the pastry first. So we put butter that's finely cut, chopped into pieces, and then we're going to make a short crust pastry. So we're going to use the rubbing in method. The butter has to be very cold, yeah? And we rub it until we get like fine breadcrumbs. Use your fingertips to rub it, somewhat like this, but you still got a bit more to go. There are still large pieces here, so you use your fingertips, not the palms, because you do not want to melt the fat. So now we have something like this, which is like breadcrumbs, yeah? Put in the beaten egg very quickly. Then quickly make it into dough. If it's a bit too dry, we add some water or milk, but I prefer to add water. The bowl should come out clean, yeah? So we just lightly knead it. Yeah, it comes together. And we wrap it up in a cling film and we put it in the fridge. While waiting for the pastry to settle, we'll take this and divide it into 8 pieces. And we'll also divide the azuki beans into 8 pieces. Before we divide the filling, we add in some melon seeds. That's quite a lot. I use about 3 tablespoons. So we've got this pastry which I've left in the fridge. So we're going to divide it into 8 pieces. Okay, and we're going to make it into a ball. Gently make it into a ball, yeah. Now we're going to put the 2 fillings together. I've put this in the fridge because it was a bit soft, so I'm trying to harden it a bit. Now we'll take one of the lotus paste and then we'll put the azuki beans inside it and we make it like it's really round, yeah. It's quite a big mooncake. Is the filling all done? And then you roll it into a round ball. There you go. Okay, let's try one more time. So we take a lotus paste, yeah, and we make a hole in the center. The side can be a bit thin because we'll pull it together and it'll be of the same. Make sure it's really in the center so that it doesn't run. And then we close it up. Okay, so that it's center, yeah. And then we roll it into a ball. There you go. It's a ball. So now I'm going to wrap this. I'm going to take a piece of the pastry, the short crust pastry, which I've done. I'm going to flatten it a bit. And since I have a little pastry, what do you call that? Pastry roller, pastry rolling pin. So I'm going to use this. It's easier. Okay. I have another blob. And here we go. Bring it together. Okay, that's done. Then I'm going to put it here. Put some flour. So this is silicone. Okay. It's the one with egg yolk, but I've made half the size. So I'm going to wrap this. I mean half the size of the filling and half the size of the pastry as well. Let's see how it goes. Okay, we put it here and let's wrap it so wrap it properly so there's no air in between the layers, in between the pastry and the filling, so there's no air there so we don't get a bubble. This is quite thin, the skin, and the bottom is quite thick, so I'm going to, yep. So now we're going to put in the egg wash, which I added a tablespoon of water to the egg yolk. So I'm going to brush it on lightly and evenly. After applying the egg wash, bake it in the oven at 180 degrees centigrade or gas mark 4 for 10 minutes. Then remove from the oven. Flatten this a bit with my when I took it out from the oven. So let's glaze it one more time. And we sprinkle with some sesame. It's not sticking, so I need to put more. Then bake it in the oven for another 15 to 20 minutes or until golden brown. Okay, so here are the ones from the oven. So it's all ready. Looks good. So here we have our mooncakes. Very big Shanghai mooncake. It's very easy to make and it's filled with lovely, nice, sweet lotus paste and adzuki bean paste. And this is the box that I got from Malaysia some time ago, and it's usually done by companies, so it's not my original box. So let's cut this Shanghai mooncake and see. It has a very thin pastry, but I'm afraid there's a gap here, so I didn't do it very well. It shouldn't have a gap. So I don't quite like egg yolk, so I'm using the center is adzuki beans and the surrounding here is actually lotus bean paste. I prefer it this way, so let's try. Okay, da 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 da. Okay, let's try. This shortbread filling is not too bad. It tastes very sweet if it's on its own, but with the pastry here, it just tastes nice and it's quite balanced. Also, I can taste the buttery taste of the pastry. And this is vegetarian because there's butter and eggs. If you want it to be vegan, then you just omit the eggs and use vegan milk. And then for the butter, you just replace it by vegan butter, and then you can get a vegan sort of mooncake. Okay, let's cut the smaller one. I've made this one half the size. So this one looks nice. Ta-da! The wrapping looks better in these round ones. There is less gap between the pastry and the filling. I hope you enjoy watching me making this Shanghai mooncake and that you be inspired to try. So thank you very much for your time. I'm Loretta Lee, Nyonya Recipe. Nyonya Recipe is a fine place for fabulous food and I share with you my food journey. So don't forget to click like and hit the subscribe button so that you'll be informed of all the videos that I upload. And don't forget to share if you find it amusing, useful, or you learn something new. So until the next time, until the next recipe, bye. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.